Good day, my plant foldies. This is Richie at Grow Folds, and today we will be big box store plant shopping at the Home Depot in Allen, Texas. You will not believe what I found at this particular location. But before we get to that, please make sure you're hitting the like button and also subscribing to my channel. I do 1 hour plant shopping videos daily, and I usually premiere them around 7 or 8 p.m. So let's check this Home Depot out. You know, I had an inkling to go out at this particular Home Depot just because it was right across from the Lowe's, which I also filmed some footage for. But as you guys walk over here, we can see that we have the Vigoro hanging baskets fixture. We're looking at some spider plants right over here. Now these Vigoro plants are for $19.98. This one is a nice full hanging basket of spider plants. Really like that a lot. You know, for the value that you get for Vigoro hanging baskets, it's not bad at all. I like this though. Look at this Syngonium. Nice, full and lush, and I love pink plants, so this is just a bonus. You can see there's so many plants in this particular hanging basket. So with Syngoniums, very easy to care for plants. If you're new to this channel, my name is Richie, and I love Syngoniums, and that's one of my favorite plants. Very easy to take care of. Right over here, we've got another hanging basket full of some Monstera adansonii, and who could forget looking at a hanging basket of Epipremnum aureum golden pothos for $19.98. One of the easiest house plants you can possibly take care of. And if you look right over here, so they have these combination planters. This is a Ficus lyrata or a fiddle fig leaf tree with a bunch of neon pothos as kind of like a top covering of it. This one is for $139. Not a bad price considering this is a very large Ficus lyrata already, and you got a neon pothos. Now, Ficus lyrata or fiddle fig leaf definitely need a lot of bright indirect light, lots of light actually, but with the neon pothos as well, the more bright indirect light or light you give it, the more yellow those foliage will look like. So that's really exciting. It doesn't look like this Home Depot has quite all of the plants loaded up on these shelves just yet, but you can see right here, Spathiphyllum or Peace Lily. This one isn't in full bloom yet, but you know, I'm not really a big fan of the blooms. I just love looking at Spathiphyllum leaves. They have such great texture. And right over here, we've got another combination of Ficus lyrata plus neon pothos for $139. So these are by Nature's Way, and they consider these like ready to go plants. So if you have an interior space you want to put them, or even a patio, shaded patio, that'd be awesome. And then right over here, we are looking at an Alocasia portula plus Epipremnum aureum neon pothos. Gorgeous combination. Love how this Alocasia is getting really large. I would love to be able to grow an Alocasia this large. You know, in North Dallas, which is where I'm based at, for those that are new, you can actually grow Alocasia bulbs in your landscape and they will always return. They'll go dormant obviously, but when it gets hot around the summertime, they will pop back up. But I just want to admire all the gorgeous flowers, and just, it's a nice, bright, sunny day. And, you know, going out and doing plant shopping, especially on my day off, it's just very therapeutic and relaxing. So we're just going to take a look at all of these plants right over here. You can see these gorgeous looking cordyline plants, these Hawaiian tea plants, and this is another combination planter. But look at how vibrant that red color is. This is absolutely stunning. It doesn't even look like a real plant. I really like that a lot. That just really inspires me to grow cordyline or tea plants. These can actually be grown in full sun, and I would actually recommend growing a cordyline plant in full sun because you will get the best coloration. You'll get really intense reds with it, or pinks. And here we've got some Kalia lilies. I find Kalia lily blooms very adorable. I mean, look at that. It's got a very delicate, subtle, but simple look about their blooms. And I love the color of this nice little red, you know, color is really, you know, just really complimentary. And I do like flowering plants as well. I've been considering getting more flowering plants in my indoor space. You know, I just recently got my plant room together, so I'll be able to house a lot more plants. And over here, we're looking at a variegated Tasmanian flax lily. That's really cool. I thought it was like a spider plant, like a variegated spider plant. This is for $12.98, and it is being released by Smart Plants. Smart Plants is actually another nursery that really sources a lot of succulents and cacti for Home Depot. So that's really interesting that they got that. And then we've got a bunch of hanging baskets of wax begonias. You know, just recently, I didn't realize that begonias were also grown for their flowers. I just really thought they were more of a foliage plant, but it's nice to see they've got a bunch of hanging baskets. And then on you know, we're looking at a bunch of ferns right over here, some Boston ferns. It looks like every big box store or local nursery has a bunch of ferns. Not sure why, but it's the season where you're seeing a bunch of ferns. And look at this Acer palmatum, or a Japanese maple. This one is the typical red bloodgood Japanese maple. For $109, that is not a bad price at all for a Japanese maple. It's already fairly large and established. What I love about Japanese maples are just the elegance of the foliage. I love that scarlet red look about it, and then when the sun hits it and really illuminates the leaves, it is just stunning. I've always been a fan of Japanese maples. I love Japanese gardens. I'm working on my backyard to be like a Japanese garden oasis. It is a work in progress, just because Japanese maples or Acer palmatum are very slow growing. They don't put as much growth, and they are a little bit finicky when it comes to hotter weather. So they are a bit of a challenge growing them in Texas, and they just don't do as well with like harsh weather. You have to really give them some shade, but they also need bright light. So there's just a balance that you would need if you're growing, you know, Japanese maples in Texas. Here we've got some more cordyline Hawaiian tea plants. This is by Garden Tropics. This one is for $7.98, just a starter plant. And you can see right over here, there's some pink. I just like the cordyline plants though with the red that I just saw recently earlier in this video. I might end up getting one of the larger ones just because I kind of want instant gratification. I'm not sure if you guys are like that as well, where like, yes, most of us want to grow plants and, you know, see them grow larger, or do you ever just want to get a plant and just say instant gratification, I have this large plant? So there are a couple plants that I would like to do that with. And, you know, this cordyline plant, I think, even though it is a fast growing plant, that might be something I might visit later down the line. And then this is an interesting one. This is a cordyline red star. I thought it was some type of Dracaena, but it is a cordyline plant or a tea plant. This one has more of like a maroon, magenta, almost a chocolate look about it. Really nice dark foliage. I love dark foliage plants. And this one is available to buy at this particular Home Depot. So when I actually walked into this Home Depot, I thought that they just didn't have any plants, but it looks like a lot of their indoor plants, landscaping plants are all kind of lumped into the outdoor section. I was a little bit worried that they didn't have a selection, but you can see here, I love red plants, dark foliage plants, and Japanese maple is stunning. My Japanese maples are doing well, and I'm really excited about that. And you can see right here, this is a huge basket of fern for $19.98. I'm not really a fern fan. It doesn't really interest me, but if I were to add some ferns, I would definitely do a bird's nest fern. That's one fern I would add to my collection. It does get pretty large. I'm not really into the Boston ferns. Maybe a Boston tiger stripe fern, a variegated fern, but that's about it. And then you can see over here some more gorgeous Japanese maples. Now the thing is with these Acer palmatum, you really want to try to get these in the ground as soon as possible because they need some time for the roots to establish. At least in Texas, if you try to plant them after like in May, that might be a little bit too late. Like the best time is now. Otherwise it will get a little too hot. And Japanese maples, when it's a little hot, the leaves will start to crisp up and burn. But you can see all of the gorgeous hanging baskets here. I love that it's a beautiful day today. The sun is out, and we're just going to keep looking at some plants. Some indoor plants are coming up. I just want to show you some of these landscaping plants. So I hope you plant foldies will still stick around and watch some of these plants, like these Beautiful coral bell plants. Look at that gray, that velvety texture, and then even the undersides of the leaves, that purple is absolutely stunning. I love looking at these plants, and you know, these plants, everybody did mention that you can potentially grow outdoor plants indoors. It just really depends on the lighting. I would say with these particular plants, they would just need a lot more bright and direct light. A lot of these plants will say, you know, they can handle, they handle shade, but I'm not sure. Like, I am planning on trying to grow 3 particular plants that are really meant for outdoors, indoors, just because I like the dark foliage and the purple look about it. Be sure to check my next video, which will be premiering tomorrow, about purple plants from the outdoor landscape going indoors. But you can see here we've got a bunch of coral bell plants. I've grown these before in planters. They're very easy to grow. They do like partial shade and sun. They get better coloration when they get that bright and direct light. That morning sun is really good for them. And you can see right here, Proven Winners has a lot of diversity when it comes to just these new releases for coral bells. Like this one right here is not bad at all. And this is for $12.98. These are perennials. And for perennials, what that means is the plant will grow and will return back every season. What'll happen is it'll either go dormant or die off, but the root system will just remain dormant, and then it'll just grow back in the spring. And then you can see right here we've got some more coral bells. I do love that purple lavender look and then that gray look. These leaves almost remind me of begonias in a weird sort of way. I mean, let me know in the comments, plant folies, if you agree with me. If you've ever grown coral bell plants, these are awesome. And I do love the fact that Proven Winners has a lot of interesting hybrids, and you can see this one is in bloom. Really like that a lot. And you can see they've got a lot of flowering plants. I love seeing these kangaroo paws. I think kangaroo paws kind of belong into the succulent family or cacti family, but look at all the different types of blooms for the kangaroo paw. I particularly like the red and yellow blooms of the kangaroo paw. I don't know a lot about them, so for those that are familiar with kangaroo paw, please leave in the comments or in the live premiere chats. Just let me know about like the plant care needs and just plant care in general. I always love learning from you guys, and that's the thing about our plant community on GrowFolds. It's all about learning from each other. And for those that continue to go to my live premiere chats and chat, thank you for doing that. I really appreciate it. And you can see right here what a stunning cordyline Hawaiian tea plant. Like, I am in love with the red and the maroon. What a gorgeous looking plant. Like, I want to just buy that cordyline plant. It is in a combination planter with a bunch of petunias. I think that's really cool. It is definitely a cool little planter that you can put out in full sun. Now with the cordyline plant, you see how it's got darker foliage. The more light you give it, the better off it's going to be in terms of pushing out that really intense red. And I just like how the sun and the light hits it. You can see how it's just kind of illuminated. Really like that a lot. I think I might go and buy one of these cordyline plants. I just wish you can successfully grow cordyline plants indoors. The problem with cordyline plants is growing them indoors, they are very susceptible to spider mites. It's almost like impossible for them to not get spider mites. But hey, I've been able to grow a Hydra helix or an English ivy, which, you know, most people they call it a spider mite magnet. So I might try growing a cordyline indoors. We're going to see that. And right over here, we've got some lovely and elegant looking white impatiens. And look at all of these plants. And I haven't really, ventured out all over this little plant section at Home Depot, but you can see how they are very full and lush. And then we're going to walk over here. So it looks like they are transferring a lot of the indoor plants, the Vigoro plants, over to the shaded part of outside. And you can see that this is our favorite, guys. This is another Hydra helix. or Hedera helix. I just like calling Hedera helix, but the correct way to say it is Hedera helix, which is basically in English ivy. If you've watched a lot of my previous videos, you know my love-hate relationship with that plant. It's just a challenging plant. And then here we've got another Sansevieria. All of these ceramic planters right here are for $8.98. These are by Nature's Way. So if you want a plant in a nice ceramic planter, Home Depot has it. These are the plants that you'd be able to see. Like you saw that there was a golden pothos. I'm going to walk over here and just show you guys an assortment of succulents. Succulents and cactus I don't really know a lot about, but what I do know is some people are really into it, so that's why I would like to at least feature some of it. Now this is one type of succulent I am not about. These are called the cosmic cactus. I find these extremely tacky. And the reason why I say they're extremely tacky, like you can see that these were like succulents that were painted a color. Like this one was painted blue and some of the paint is already coming off. I don't think it's really good for the plant just because the plant, there's like a layer of paint covering the plant. So it's probably preventing it from photosynthesizing. It's kind of like if you don't clean the dust off plants, they don't photosynthesize as well. I'm just not a fan. Now, if you are into that painted cactus, you know, more power to you, but that's just my personal opinion. And right over here, we've got a Philodendron Prince of Orange. What a nice looking Philodendron Prince of Orange. You can see that new leaf unfurling. It has like a really bright orange. I do like these type of philodendrons where they're more of like a clumping versus climbing type of philodendron. You don't necessarily have to put it up a pole, but what is cool about these types of philodendron like the Prince of Orange is they can get very large and wide, up to 3 to 4 feet. So that would be awesome to see that as a giant. And you can see here, we've got some proven winners, Ficus benjamina, and this one's called Over the Edge. These ones are for $29.98. I do like Ficus benjamina. The only thing is with these Ficus benjamina, which are basically like indoor trees, or you can grow them that way, very finicky in a sense that they need a lot of light. If you don't give them light, they will drop their leaves. Also, if you bring a Ficus benjamina at home and just place it somewhere, there is an acclimation period where potentially they will drop all of its leaves. Once it is happy again, it will just grow its leaves back. But you know, with Ficus, they just like consistency. Here is one of my favorite philodendrons, just because I love that yellow neon color. This is a Philodendron Lemon Lime by Proven Winners. This one is for $19.98, and I do love the ceramic planter it's in. I like that it's got a matte finish about it. I'm not really into like shiny glazes. The texture on the planter is okay as well. I do prefer smoother surfaces, but you can see here what a nice looking Philodendron Lemon Lime. Now this particular philodendron needs a potential moss pole or a plank for it to continue to grow up. And I do like this philodendron. So I first saw this Philodendron Sun Red offered by Proven Winners. And what's interesting about it is the definite red burgundy look of the new leaves that unfurl. So it's basically like a Philodendron Prince of Orange, but instead of orange leaves for the new leaves, this one has more like burgundy, almost like a caramel tone about it. I think you can get some more intense reds, but what a nice looking philodendron. And all of the philodendron I've featured so far are super easy to take care of. They need bright and direct light. Just make sure you don't overwater them. Just water them when they completely dry, when the soil is completely dry, and you'll be good to go. And then over here, we are going to be looking at some more Proven Winners plants. So it looks like the plant vendor hasn't gotten these out yet. They're still on racks, but what a nice looking H2O leaf bowl series, which is basically plants that are growing in hydroponics. So I've talked about hydroponics and basically growing plants in straight water instead of having a substrate like leca, pond, or soil. This has just got the roots and straight water. This one is a Dracaena Janet Craig. This is a Dracaena that I will always feature in my videos because Janet Craig Dracaenas are in every single big box store and even grocery stores. What an easy to grow plant. It's an underrated plant. All Dracaenas I feel like are underrated, but they can bring you joy in the fact that they are very low maintenance. And you can see right here, this is actually one of my favorite Dracaenas that I need to get. This is a Dracaena Urban Urchin by Proven Winners. What I love about this particular Dracaena, which is considered a Dracaena warneckii, is look at those roots, gorgeous, and then they've got the water in the bowl. But I just like that the leaves on this particular plant has so many different colors. You've got dark green, light green, white, a mint green, a yellow green. There's just a lot of colors going around it. And I like that it's just got, it looks like somebody just painted this plant. It doesn't even look real. But what I like about this Dracaena Urban Urchin is it will get large in time. It can get up to 3 to 4 feet tall. And the same thing, this Dracaena warneckii Lemon Lime. This goes back to the whole like lime, neon yellow type foliage plant. What a nice looking one. Now, all of these smaller Proven Winner H2O hydroponic bowls are for $19.98. It is a little bit pricey. So what I've done instead of buying these is I will buy like a plant and basically wash away all of the soil and then put it in a bowl, and voila, I've got me some hydroponics. All of my calatheas are doing amazing in my hydroponics. I don't ever have to worry about them like just becoming unhappy, and it's another way to grow plants. I've even transferred a bunch of my aglaonema into hydroponics. Here we've got a lemon button fern. It's a really nice looking one. This one's another starter plant by Proven Winners for $5.98. That's honestly not a bad price for this size plant, and you'll get some really cool looking plants. I know that I bought me a Tradescanthia Feeling Flirty by Proven Winners, which is basically a nice looking pink compact version of a Tradescanthia Nanook. But this lemon button fern, it's really cute as well. I do like the textures of the leaves. They look like buttons. And let's see what else we'll find right here. So this one is an oyster plant. This one is for $5.98. It's a pink urchin oyster plant. So you can see that the undersides of the leaves has that like lavender purple tone to it, and then you've got the green tone about it. I actually found something similar to that at Lowe's, which is really meant to be growing outdoors. So I'm gonna see if I can grow them indoors, but that one's a really nice looking plant. The thing about this plant is you're gonna have to cut it back because it can get leggy. And then right over here, we've got another Epipremnum aureum golden pothos. And pothos, like you can see how like the roots are very established. You can literally create your own hydroponic pothos bowl by just taking a bunch of cuttings and they will root. Like pothos are easy to root. You have basically a 99% guarantee that pothos cuttings will root in water. You just give it 2 to 3 weeks. Here is just a solid green Peperomia obtusifolia, and this is a happy one because you can see that little rat tail looking thing. That is actually a bloom. And whenever you see plants that are blooming, especially tropical plants, you can tell that that plant is happy. It's gotten the best type of growing conditions and it's able to like potentially want to reproduce itself. So that's really cool. I like the look of this one. You know, they've got the variegated version. I ended up getting a variegated Peperomia obtusifolia with Golden Gate. That one's nice, but the green one is also good. Don't sleep on green plants, guys. Green plants are sturdy and strong and gorgeous. Here we've gotten a Photonia. This one is a Photonia Prime Time. I haven't ever seen this type of Photonia. This Photonia is more yellow versus like the pinks and the whites and the reds. This is really interesting as well. You can see that it starts off like it starts off yellow, but I think it darkens or hardens to like more of a green color. I think that's really cool. This is particularly a cultivar that was hybridized by Proven Winners, or at least that's my understanding. And you can see right here, they've got another Photonia. This is a typical one you will see with the white veining. Love Photonias. They are thirsty plants. So the only thing about thirsty plants are they definitely need a lot of water. Otherwise they kind of shrivel up. Not the best plant for me personally, just because I'm more of an underwaterer. And then right over here, what a gorgeous looking Alocasia Luterbachiana, I think that's how you pronounce it. I do intend to purchase this particular Alocasia. I've seen it before at another Home Depot, the one off of Prosper in Prosper, Texas. That would be one of the Alocasias I would get. Actually, The proven winner alocasias are amazing. I do love that they're very healthy and you can see the undersides of the leaves. I definitely want to get my alocasias going. They are a bit more of a finicky plant. They do require a little bit more high humidity, but yeah. And let's see what else we have right over here. We're just going to take a look at some more alocasia. So this one is an alocasia calculata. Wait. Oh my goodness. Do you see this? So this is, I just thought this was just like a regular Alocasia calculata, but do you see the leaves? Do you guys see these leaves? They've got some Aurea yellow tones about it, and this is not completely green. You can clearly see that there's some variegation. So this is a variegated sport Alocasia calculata. I am so excited. This is definitely going home with me. I was not intending to buy any plants. I really wasn't intending to, but there's no way I am gonna let this variegated Alocasia for $29.99 not go home with me. And the reason why I want to buy this variegated Alocasia is when it produces pups or corms or more baby ones, the genetics are going to be the same to where they're going to be more variegated Alocasia calculatas. Now, I don't know how rare the variegated Alocasia calculatas are, but what I do know is as many times as I've done plant shopping videos, I have yet to find a variegated sport type plant. You've seen some people find variegated sport Monstera deliciosas, but that is so cool. Like, leave it in the comments, my plant foldies, if you know if this plant is a variegated sport plant or if I'm just going crazy, if I'm seeing splotches, or if this is really a variegated Alocasia. I think it is. Leave it in the comments or in the live premiere chats, but I am really interested to see. And actually, I'm going to be nosy. It looks like this is another variegated sport Alocasia calculata. It doesn't have nearly as much variegation as the other one, but you can clearly see there's some splotches here, and I like that. I'm probably going to get this one as well, even though it doesn't have nearly as much variegation. Who knows if it'll push out more, but look at that one. There's a little bit more variegation there. I don't mind spending the $29.98 for both, especially if it's sport variegated plants. Now, for my plant foldies or anybody watching this video, have you guys ever discovered like sport variegated plants when you go plant shopping? Please leave in the comments. Let me know about your stories. I'd love to hear, but you can see here, I feel like I hit the jackpot. Like, that is so cool. Even if the variegation isn't as like pronounced, the fact that there is some subtleties with the variegation is really cool. I would assume that these Alocasia plants, these calculatas, were probably from the same batch. So whenever you find one, I definitely am a little bit more inspired to keep checking. But you can see right over here, what if I find like a philodendron Florida green sport variegated? That'd be cool. Basically, a philodendron Florida green variegated is a Florida beauty, which I have already, but I do like the philodendron Florida green. What a beautiful looking plant. This is a plant that does require a little bit of a pole for it to really grow. And then Ficus umbellata, I do love the Ficus umbellata. Proven Winners calls this the lily pad plant. It does kind of look like lily pads. I do like the Ficus umbellata. I've seen a lot of like plant styling, especially in Japan, where they use Ficus umbellata. They kind of bend the trunks and grow it into like a really nice, elegant looking tree indoors. Ficus umbellata does require a lot of bright light, and it is susceptible to spider mites, but I ended up buying one at Home Depot not too long ago. That one was for $29.98. I do have to move my cart around, and I have to watch as I'm filming because I don't want somebody just picking up my variegated sport Alocasia. I mean, that's something I would fight over. So we'll see. But here is a gorgeous looking Monstera deliciosa for $29.98 by Proven Winners. Now I'm like looking at pretty much every single plant to see if there's any more sport variegated plants on this one. Today is definitely one of my luckiest days. And you can see right over here, this is another Alocasia calculata. This one is a lot greener, although I do see some subtle variegation on the leaves. So again, that's really just interesting. I'm just going to leave that there. I'm going to be inspecting a lot of these plants, but you can see like this is clearly a green Alocasia calculata, not a sport variegated one. It is a gorgeous looking Alocasia. I really was not intending to grow any more Alocasias, but if you were in my shoes, would you not get that sport variegated Alocasia? Like, look at that. I know that that's like the money shot for the leaves, and I'm hoping that it will continue to push out some stable variegation. Who knows? I might even share a couple of babies with my viewers and subscribers. And again, I want to take the time to, ask you guys, if you're already watching this video and haven't already, please hit the like button. I'd really appreciate it. It helps with the engagement. And if you haven't hit the subscribe button as well, hit the subscribe button and make sure your bell notifications are on. Again, I post daily plant videos every single day unless I'm not able to get to it. But I'm basically filming videos and editing videos when I get off of work. I do work a pretty demanding job. It's close to 9 to 10 hours a day, but I have been able to balance that out for you guys, and I really enjoy the process. And you can see here what a gorgeous looking Alocasia pink dragon. Love the purple undersides of the leaves, and then I love the pink stems. This one has several little babies coming out of it, and that's what I like about Alocasias. Somebody asked me what the it plant would be. I think Kathy, my very loyal plant foldy from Canada, asked what I thought was the it plant for this year, and I do believe it's going to be variegated Alocasia. And you can see here we've got some more golden pothos. Now this Nanthe setosa gray star is being released again. I definitely want to buy this, and I'm going to grow it in hydroponic. Not today, but that's such a gorgeous looking plant because I love the gray look. Look at that metallic shine. Look at how delicate the veining is. And then the purple undersides, these are gorgeous. They are a bit finicky because it's kind of in that same realm of Stromanthe, Calatheas, and Marantha plants. They don't like to be watered with tap water. You really want to give them purified water, rainwater, distilled water. Hard water doesn't do very well for these plants because they will end up browning or crisping up. But the good thing about Thinanthe plants or those types of prayer plants are they are not toxic, so they are pet friendly and pet safe. And then we can just walk over here, more plants. I'm just, I'm not saying frantically looking for any more sport variegated plants, but I mean, if you were in my shoes, like what if I found like a philodendron variegated Birkin? That'd be cool. But this is just a typical philodendron Birkin for 1998. This one has pretty decent variegation. I would say the best philodendron Birkins that are highly variegated I found at Kroger, which is a grocery store that's pretty much all over Dallas, but they call that philodendron a philodendron white margin. It's interesting how plants have different names, but you can see right over here, you can see that this is another Alocasia calculata. It has a little bit more sport variegation right here. It's more green than yellow, but you can see that there is just some subtle variegation, but most of this plant is actually green. The other Alocasia I found, you definitely can tell, like, look, it's just pretty green. The leaves are pretty green. So I don't know if these were like collected corms that, proven winners grew from babies and didn't realize that they were variegated. I'm pretty sure, when you're producing hundreds and hundreds of plants, sometimes you don't oversee those unique variegated plants, those sport variegated plants. So for those that don't think they'll ever find a variegated plant, I would say if you're going plant shopping or even window plant shopping, check all the monsteras. Check all of the philodendron. Just check all the plants like I do. Now I'm going to be on higher alert just to see if I can find more variegated plants. I think that's really cool. I would love to see a sport variegated Ficus umbellata, for instance. Now, this is a nice looking Ficus umbellata. I love how bright and yellow the new leaf coming out is. And these plants are just really nice. They almost remind me of like looking like an oversized weed, at least the leaf shape and texture, but it is a nice looking plant. With Ficus umbellata, you need to give it a lot of bright light. Any type of ficus plant, even if somebody says they can, tolerate low, medium light, you just need to give it bright light. I know that the ficus plants do better in that realm, just because in my experience, when I give them lower light conditions, they start to shed their leaves. Here is a beautiful Dracaena warneckii, but this one is the white jewel. Look at that variegation as well. And this is in another H2O bowl. So I could have gotten the white jewel, the lemon lime, and then the urban urchin. That would be a cool little collection. but I don't know if I really want them in hydroponics. I kind of want to grow them in like soil substrate, just because Dracaena, you can underwater them, not give them as much bright light, and they will still do well. So that's one of those plants that I would consider an easy to care for plant, a beginner plant, but needless to say, you'll still get some really nice growth from it. But as you guys can see, we've got a lot of plants that still need to be like put on shelves. I'm just going to keep panning over here and just showing you more of the plants. So that is an Alocasia calculata right there, just the green form. Unless I am going crazy, Plant Folies, please validate that I found me a sport variegated Alocasia calculata. And you can see that is that Hawaiian tea plant I was talking about. We've got a bunch of large Monstera deliciosas right here. Surprisingly, I don't have as large of a Monstera deliciosa anymore. I have one that I need to repot in a bigger planter. And then you can see here, we've got some more gorgeous looking cordyline Hawaiian tea plants. Love that pink, love that red, but I think I want the wider form leaves, which is back there. It is a little bit pricey. I think it's like $39.98, but it's not bad. And you can see right across, we've got some ZZ plants. ZZ plants are one of the easiest plants that you can take care of. And then they've got some more Dracaenas right above it. And yeah, I don't know, Plant Folies, let me know what you guys think. I'm super excited that I was able to find a variegated sport plant. And right here is what I was talking about, these gorgeous looking cordyline Hawaiian tea plants here. Look at that bright red over here. I need this to be outside in my front patio. I'm going to grow it in a planter, a really nice looking planter, and we'll see where it takes us. And here we've got some gorgeous looking Monstera deliciosa. So everybody's all about the variegated Monsteras, even me. But you know, the green form, I truly believe is gorgeous. If you haven't seen my plant nursery shop video of Cultivar, which is a rare plant shop in Texas, check out that amazing video. I feature a just regular green Monstera deliciosa that the owners grew several years back, and it's just a massive plant. And you can see here we've got some gorgeous looking proven winter plants. I keep going back to these plants right here. The vendor is still working on it. I feel like I'm distracting her because I'm freaking out. And you can see my my shopping cart right there as I'm filming. Don't worry. Like, I was watching my alocasias because I really did see a couple of people kind of staring at it, and I had to edit out that part of the video. But I was like, hey, those are my plants, because somebody was about to pick up this plant. Like, I can't do that. You know that this plant is a sport variegated Alocasia calculata. Anyways, let me calm down. I am super excited. I did want to show you guys just some more of these plants, and let's just kind of like enjoy the scenery here. I'm just going to walk through and show you the rest of the plants that they have available at this Home Depot. And I just want to pan over one last time to show you these gorgeous looking cordyline plants, stunning. And so I'm going to pan over the rest of just the outside of this Home Depot. Really excited that I was able to go to this Home Depot out in Allen, Texas. This is right off of McDermott Road. So the next location we're going to go to is one of my favorite Kroger Marketplace to go plant shopping. This is the one off of Frisco, right off of Custer Road. So if you are a local Plant Foldy, you can visit this one. This one actually has some really good selections of plants. Their plants are typically healthy. And right off the bat, you can see right here, we've got some peace lilies. All of these plants are starting at $24.99. And we've got some more cordyline plants here. These ones are a little bit more leggy. I prefer the ones that we just saw at Home Depot, but let me know in the comments, Plant Foldies, if you haven't already, about just cordyline plants. And you can see the entrance right here. We are in Frisco, Texas, and we're about to walk in here and see what plants they have. Like, what a nice setup they have. And you can see right off the bat, whenever you go to grocery store plant shopping, you will always find houseplants, indoor plants in the floral department. So they've got a lot of Phalaenopsis orchids here, several varieties, several sizes. And then check this out, we've got some Azalea Simpsonii or indoor azaleas. These ones are for $19.99. Look at how gorgeous this is. And the thing about Azalea Simpsonii if you do not water them, they will decline in health very quickly. These are plants that are very thirsty and very finicky. So just an update on my Azalea Simcii that I got on clearance at this particular Kroger. One died because it just dried out. Again, these plants, as much as I love these azaleas, I don't know if they're the best fit for me because they require to, a lot of water. Like, they don't want to obviously sit in water, but at the same time, you never want to let their soil dry out completely. The roots on azaleas in general are very fine and don't really take up a lot of water. So you just need to make sure that you do. Now, these smaller versions right here are $9.99. I think I might need to, if I'm going to get some more azaleas, I need to make sure that I'm getting one that is, smaller like that instead of the larger ones, because it was a little bit more tough for me to take care of them. I still have my variegated sport Azalea Simcii. I haven't found one of those versions yet, but you can see how gorgeous these plants are, as well as the Phalaenopsis orchids. My viewers that often see my videos, I will feature flowering plants. I'm really trying to diversify my plant, the plants that I feature on my plant shopping videos, but I am partial to the azaleas. Like, I love azaleas. I have that type of relationship with azaleas. It's the same thing I have with like Hydra Helix or those Hedera Helix, English Ivy. I love them, but for some reason they don't love me back because they're so finicky. They're just a little bit more challenging, and it's a lesson to learn. Like, I was all about the azaleas, but they are just a challenging plant. They need to stay hydrated, and right now, at least in my with my hectic schedule, it's a little bit more tough for me to take care of plants that just require a little bit more water. And right over here we do have a Hydra Helix. This Hedera Helix, which is the correct way to say English Ivy, is for $9.99. This one's in a 4.5-inch planter. Now, all of the plants we're seeing, like this palm plant right over here, the plants that are sourced out at Kroger grocery stores typically come from Mason Farms. Now, Mason Farms, surprisingly, is a nursery out in New Mexico. So this one right here is an Alocasia Black Velvet. I've seen some really cool Alocasias. Like, one Alocasia I found at Kroger, for instance, was an Alocasia Stingray, and it was also for $19.99. This one's in a 6-inch planter. So there's a lot of cool things that I will say grocery plant shopping. You probably will get the most cost-effective pricing. Like, I am in love with Palea plants. This one is a Palea aluminum plant. This one is for $9.99 in a 4.5-inch planter. I love Palea plants because of the metallic shine they have on the leaves. They're fairly easy to take care of. They're a little bit more thirsty, but not nearly as thirsty as like a fern or even like an Azalea Simcii. So you just want to make sure that you keep that particular plant hydrated. And then here we got another Hydra Helix. Now say it again with me, guys. Hydra Helix. I just like saying that. I don't know, I'm silly, but I do like English Ivy. And then we have this Ficus lyrata over here for $13.99. My Ficus lyrata is doing so amazing, and guess how much I paid for it? And it was in that size, 99 cents. I happened to go to another local grocery store called Sprouts. So that's the thing. You can go to grocery stores and find some gorgeous looking plants. Like, look at this Hydra Helix. This one is a Gold Baby English Ivy for $9.99 in a 4.5-inch planter. And I will say Kroger probably has the best pricing for Epipremnum aureum, neon pothos, or pothos in general. You can get the 6-inch ones for $9.99. Typically 6-inch pothos planters are usually like $16.99, maybe $12.99, but $9.99 is not bad. I actually got clearance plants or reduced plants from Kroger, and I got it for like $2, that neon pothos. And you can see right here we've got some oxalis plants. St. Patty's Day is over, and you can see this is reduced to $3.85. Now, I did ask this during a live premiere chat the other day if we could grow shamrock or oxalis indoors, and people said yes. So I might go back to this Kroger and purchase this plant. But again, me spending that money on those variegated sport alocasia kind of blew my budget for this week is in terms of plants, but you can see here, this is a gorgeous looking purple one, purple oxalis. This is for $3.85 as well. So that's what I love about Kroger plants. A lot of times, if you are lucky, you can walk in when they reduce the cost of the plant. I really like that a lot, just because Kroger or any type of grocery store, they really make sure that their plants are top notch. They take care of their plants. I believe they pretty much treat them like fresh produce, so they have to keep them fresh, and they'll reduce them if they have some kind of cosmetic damage. But you can see all of these aluminum plants are just perfection. $9.99. It almost makes me want to pick up one again and just start another Palea aluminum plant. This is the classic Palea plant that I first started out with. Really interested in getting more Palea plants. I have 3 in my collection now, and they're doing amazing. I even have the variegated version of this, much slower growing, but you know, I'm hoping that once it takes off, I can propagate them. And they're very easy to root in water as well. You do want to pinch them back and trim them back in order to keep them bushy. Otherwise, they'll get leggy. That's the only problem I would say with Palea plants. And you can see this is for $3.85. These green shamrock plants, these oxalis, really cool. And this one is happy too, because you can see that it's in bloom. I have to start visiting more Kroger grocery stores, because they really do have some interesting looking plants. They do reduce their plants or clearance out their plants. Like this one right here is a really nice looking one. I probably should have bought one of these plants. I mean, I wouldn't be losing a lot of money if this one died. $3.85 for a 6-inch potted up oxalis is not bad at all. And then you can see right here, they've just got tons of Palea plants. Like I feel like this Kroger just got recently restocked, so I'm very excited to be able to find a bunch of plants. And you can see right here, they've got a white Fittonia. I love Fittonias, the look of Fittonias, at least the care, not so much. I haven't had the best luck in growing Fittonias. I either overwater them or underwater them, and they just get really crispy. They are very particular with the amount of water they get. Like if you don't water them, they'll start to brown up and crisp up. If you overwater them, they will brown up and crisp up. So there's not a lot of winning with Fittonia plants. And here they've got some Costafars trending tropical plants, but we'll take a look at that after we look at this one right here. This is a trending tropical. So I will say most trending tropicals in self-watering planters, like at Lowe's, Home Depot, Walmart, are for $19 and plus cents. This one is for $16.99. So they're trending tropical plants at Kroger's are the cheapest ones or most cost-effective ones out of all of the trending tropicals. So I will be going particularly to Kroger marketplaces and trying to find more trending tropicals. And you can see here, polka dot plants. The pink ones are really nice. I do like how this one looks, and this one's for $9.99 by Mason Farms. Again, that's the plant supplier for Kroger. Let me know in the comments, plant foldies, if you've grown polka dot plants. They're gorgeous, but they're just really finicky. Same thing with those Hydra Helix. And then this one right here, we've got Peperomia Raisinette. So I ended up getting a Peperomia Red Luna, which is a trending tropicals plant from Costa Farms, but this one is the Raisinette, which is way more purple. That's really nice. I believe that one was what, $13.99. I might end up getting that at Kroger. I've been looking at that Peperomia, and Peperomia are pretty easy, but wow, do you see what I see? Dieffenbachia Cool Beauty. Like today is my lucky day. I am literally finding some pretty cool variegated plants. We'll go take a look at that, but we'll look at this Croton Petra just to calm down for a second. That one's for $9.99. But I overheard that, you know, I've read somewhere, people have told me that Costa Farms is releasing some new Dieffenbachia as trending tropicals, and this is it. Dieffenbachia Cool Beauty. Do you see that? Like, I always talk about how Dieffenbachia are challenging to grow indoors, but you know what? I'm going to make an exception, not even flinch. I told myself I wasn't going to buy any plants, but for $16.99 for a variegated Dieffenbachia, yeah, this is going home with me. There's 2 of them, so we're going to take a look at which one I might end up getting. Plant foldies, would you buy the one on the top or the one I just put down? Leave it in the comments or in the live premiere chats, but what a gorgeous looking Dieffenbachia. Now the Dieffenbachia Cool Beauty, I've actually seen 2 to 3 years ago being offered for several hundreds of dollars, and now it is a Costa Farms trending tropical plant. That's very exciting. This particular Dieffenbachia was actually discovered in Japan. It was a mutation from a Dieffenbachia, and I just love that. With Dieffenbachia, you just need to make sure that you are providing a lot of bright and direct light. They are very susceptible to spider mites as well. And basically light and just pest prevention, you will be able to grow it. I'm going to try to grow a Dieffenbachia. And then right over here, here's another Dieffenbachia. I've seen this one time at a local plant nursery called The Great Outdoors in Austin, Texas. But this one is a large Dieffenbachia crocodile. What interesting tone. Like, I actually would have bought this as well, but I didn't want to spend $16.99 each for these plants. Like, I feel like if I had to prioritize, I would definitely get the variegated plant and maybe come back for that. See, that's the thing about, different types of genuses of plants. Like, you want to collect them all. Like, I remember buying one peperomia and then I started adding more peperomia. So I don't want to start the Dieffenbachia craze just because, there's one that I didn't really see. But plant foliage, would you agree with me? I would definitely buy that Dieffenbachia Cool Beauty. It's absolutely stunning. And in here we have a Croton Gold Dust. This one's for $6.99. This one is a Costa Farms plant in a ceramic planter. I do like the matte finish on the ceramic planter. And with Crotons, I actually repotted one of my Crotons, my Magnificent Croton, and I am growing it in full sun, hoping that I will get some really good coloration from the plant. And then here is another Hedera Helix. This Hedera Helix English Ivy is in a 6-inch planter. This one's for $19.99, and this one is also from Mason Farms. So you can see that Kroger has a bunch of cool plants, some common plants, but needless to say, they're very healthy looking. Like, what a gorgeous looking Epipremnum aureum. Enjoy, but they're calling it Pearls and Jay, but I really think it's Enjoy. You make the decision. I think this is an Enjoy and it's mislabeled, but I'm going to go ahead and label this Pearls and Jay based on the plant ID on that particular plant. And I'm just going to go back and point out some more plants. What a nice looking Schefflera over there, an umbrella plant. They've got another Ficus lyrata. A lot of these plants are starting at $9.99. Really good pricing for a lot of these plants. And you can see right over here, they've got a lot of Hedera Helix. There are a bunch of English Ivy today. I don't know why there's a bunch of English Ivy. And this is a really red Photonia. What a nice looking Photonia. This one's for $9.99. I do like that. And then the edges have like a black margin around it. I really don't see Photonia like that. That's another plant I would potentially add to my collection. And then this is a really cool plant. And I know for those who've seen this before, this is a pickle plant for $9.99. What a cool looking plant. And look at how fuzzy it is. They do look like miniature pickles. Plant foldies, I've seen this before. I know you guys liked it, so I'm glad I was able to find that plant. It seems to be more of an uncommon plant I don't typically see just being offered, so that's really cool. And then you can see what a gorgeous looking azalea, indoor azalea. And we've got this interesting Aglonema from Costa Farms in a self-watering planter. This one's for $14.99. This is another variety of Aglonema that I don't have, so I'm definitely gonna have to come back to this Kroger and purchase it. They've got 2 of them. They might even reduce this one because this one has some damage on its leaves, and I don't mind it. I'll just chop up the damaged leaves, but we'll see if Kroger will actually reduce that. This is another Aglonema I would purchase just because it's definitely a newer version. I'm glad that Costa Farms is releasing Aglonemas. If you haven't gotten an Aglonema in your houseplant collection and you have been watching my videos, I would ask why, because Aglonemas are amazing. They're super easy to take care of. And you can see here, we've got a lot of flowering plants, lots of Phalaenopsis orchids, lots of gorgeous Azalea Simpsonii. So I did learn my lesson in terms of making sure you never, ever, ever let the flowers, or not the flowers, but the soil dry. Otherwise, the azalea will really decline in health. I'm thinking that I probably needed to repot these plants in a bigger, pot with some more soil, not fast draining, just because, me being an underwaterer, it just didn't work out for me. I was really disappointed that I lost one of my indoor azaleas. I still have 2 left. My variegated one is actually growing outdoors in the patio. and I'm hoping that it will bounce back once I've been a little bit more consistent with the watering. But I did want to walk over here. Kroger is always such a good place to find plants. I think that this is really cool. We definitely need to know what this Aglaonema plant ID is. $14.99 is not bad, but you know, for the most part, it just reminds me that I need to go to grocery stores again and check out some of these plants. I consider grocery stores big box stores as well, and you can see there are plenty of plants available. It may not seem like much, but a lot of the plants are plants that I would add to my collection. So plant foldies, if you haven't already, please hit the like button for this video and leave comments at the end. I am going to be ending this video fairly soon. This is Richie at Grow Folds. Please subscribe, and I definitely hope you guys will catch me tomorrow. I have another live premiere chat video available, and I'll see you next time. Bye. Good day, my plant foldies. This is Richie at Grow Folds, and today we will be grocery store plant shopping at Kroger out in Frisco, Texas. As always, please make sure you guys are hitting the like button and subscribing to the channel. It really helps with my engagement, so I'll be able to get more content for you guys. I do post daily videos, 1 hour plant shopping videos for you guys, and I hope you guys will join the live premiere chat. So this is a Kroger that I haven't been to in a while. Actually, this is my second time here, but I did want to point out this really cool looking philodendron black cardinal. Look at how large this is, and this is by Live Trends. I want to go ahead and set it down on the floor so you can see how beautiful the leaves are. Dark foliage leaves. I believe this is for $22.48. You can see that there is you know, there is another leaf unfurling, and I do love the dark foliage. Love black plants. I'm not a really big fan of the moss on top as a top cover, but overall, what a beautiful looking philodendron. I like that its growth habit is not trailing. It's more of a clumping, so it stays compact. And the leaves get very large as well. Really like that. It's very interesting to see philodendron like this at a grocery store. You wouldn't think to go into a grocery store to shop for plants. But as I've stated in my previous videos, you can find plants for a very good price. Like this is a Dracaena marginata, and this one is in a 4-inch planter for $6.99. Not a bad price at all, as you can see. And you can see that this is a fairly healthy looking plant. I will say that their merchandising at this particular Kroger isn't the best, but if you're looking for plants like this philodendron black cardinal, this one is also for $6.99 in a 4-inch starter planter. It's not a bad price at all. There is just a little bit of leaf damage, but you know, if you're looking for inexpensive plants, Kroger is a great place to plant shop, or most grocery stores have really good selections. They're usually in the floral department. And you can see there is another philodendron black cardinal right over here. There is a little bit of leaf damage as well. But to be really picky, you can see that there is a fake succulent type. But to be picky, I would say that the merchandising could be a little bit better. This one is a Peperomia Rousseau. This is actually sourced by Mason Farm. So if you've seen a lot of my plant shopping videos at Kroger, most of their plants are sourced out by Mason Farms, which is a plant nursery out in New Mexico. What a beautiful looking Peperomia Piccolo right over here for $13.99. Love the veination of the leaves. I love the dark foliage as well. That gray is very striking. And then right over here, we've got some Philodendron Pink Princess marbles. These are for $29.99. I've seen this a lot at a lot of Krogers. I'm curious to see if they've sold through a lot of these Philodendron Pink Princess. When I first saw them, they had better variegation, but you know, that's just me being very picky. And you can see that their floral department has tons and tons of Phalaenopsis orchids. I want to go pan in and show you the details of this. I love Phalaenopsis orchids just because their blooms remind me of some faces. It's kind of like pansies as well. The way they the bloom looks like, it looks like a face. And you can see there's some purple ones right here. And one of my favorite plants is this particular Peperomia. This is a Peperomia San Marino. And what I like about it is this is a very lush, very full plant for for $9.99. I mean, I'm almost tempted to purchase this plant today, just because look at how full this plant is. It's literally popping out of its planter, and it's also happy because you can see those rat tail looking stems. Those are actually the blooms of a peperomia. I don't have any peperomia growing in my collection except a peperomia guinea. I might add this to my collection. The thing is, when I've had it in the past, I ended up getting spider mites on it, so I think like the watering or maybe just the conditions I had wasn't the best, but it's something I might revisit. That's a really cool looking peperomia San Marino for $9.99. That's not a bad price at all, especially how full that is. It's probably the most full peperomia I've seen. And then right over here is an aluminum plant. I love aluminum plant. I love Pallias. I'm actually going to be trying to collect different types of Pallia. This one's for $9.99 and it's super full. Now remember, with Pallias, you want to prune them back so they stay pretty full and not leggy. And then this is a peperomia obtusifolia. Love this as well. I'm still looking to see if I can get a great price for that. The variegation is beautiful. And then we've got some more assorted plants right over here. Now this is a plant find that I'm glad I was able to steer you guys in the right direction. This is a Alocasia stingray. This is definitely an uncommon Alocasia and one that you would not expect at a grocery store. This is for $13.99, and you can see there is a little baby core. Actually, there's two of them starting to sprout from this Alocasia. Love the leaf shape of the Alocasia. It definitely looks like a stingray. There is a little bit of a leaf damage or a bend on it, but you know what? If they were to reduce this price, I would definitely buy this Alocasia. It's gorgeous, and I've seen a mature version where it's really gotten large in size. And then obviously we've got some miniature roses here. We've got some assorted kalanchoe. That's the thing about grocery stores. Their houseplants or indoor tropicals are mixed with their floral department. So you will see a lot of flowering plants. I want to show you guys flowering plants in addition to like the tropical aeroids that you would see. Like this one right here is a 6-inch Epipremnum aureum marble queen pothos. This one's for $19.99. Now I think of all of the plants, I think $19.99 for a 6-inch planter is a little bit much when you can buy these for like $16.99 at like a local plant nursery store. So that's, I like comparing prices, and this is the reason why I love doing plant shopping videos. My plant foldies, and if you're new to the channel, my name is Richie and I call my viewers and subscribers plant foldies. But anyways, my plant foldies, let me know what you guys think of the plants I've shown so far. I know you've seen a lot of these plants, like this one right here is an Aglonema red Siam. You know that I love Aglonema, and even if this is for $19.99, I still think this is a beautiful plant. Love the pink stems. Aglonema are so underrated. I wish people would actually make this a trending plant. Very easy to care for. I mean, you just want to make sure that the soil dries out completely before you water it, and give it bright indirect light. It can tolerate lower light conditions. Now this is a beautiful Epipremnum aureum golden pothos. This one is for $19.99 in a 6-inch planter. Look at the variegation of this one. This one actually has very good variegation for a golden pothos. Golden pothos are one of the easiest houseplants to grow. They are easy to propagate as well. You can literally take node cuttings off of it, stick it in water, and produce many pothos. And if you are starting houseplants, definitely get you a golden pothos. You will not be disappointed. You will not kill it. The only way you could kill it is maybe overwatering it, but it's even more forgiving than most plants when it comes to overwatering. And I do want to show you this peperomia raisinette. It is one of my favorite peperomias just because look at the texture of the leaves. It literally looks like raisins. Love dark foliage plants, and it's one that I might eventually get in my plant collection. It's one that I love featuring when I shop at Kroger. And the thing about it is, I know that I visit a lot of the same grocery stores. I do intend to try and diversify my content, but for all of my plant foldies to continue to tune into my live premiere chats, really appreciate it. You guys mean the world to me when it comes to just engagement. I love it when you guys are able to just chat with me in the live premiere chats. We always have a plant party, a 1-hour plant party, just because I try to make 1-hour videos of just me talking about plants. I'm not an expert when it comes to plant care, but I will give you my insights and my personal experiences with plants. So hopefully we can continue this streak. And you can see right over here, we've got some more philodendron pink princess marbles. This one actually has some good sectoral variegation. Philodendron pink princess, I would consider a common philodendron just because we're seeing a lot of that in the market. There's a lot of tissue cultured philodendron pink princess. So, you know, I would say be picky with the variegation because philodendron pink princess, their variegation is really based on the original genetics. Now, the next plant shopping video we're going to do is a grocery plant shopping out in HEB in Frisco, Texas. So HEB is a local Texas grocery store chain, mostly seen in Houston and Austin and Dallas. And this particular one actually has a large outdoor section. So I'm going to just spend a little bit of time. You can see that they've got some roses available. I used to have a rose garden. I might actually show you guys some old footage of my garden. So if you guys want to see some of my old footage, please put that in the comments or let me know in the live premiere chats. But one plant that struck me is this variegated hibiscus salsa dancer. Look at how beautiful the leaves are. I love pink plants, but this one has pink and cream variegation for a hibiscus. And what I like about it is even if it's a variegated plant, this one can tolerate full sun. So I am definitely going to purchase this hibiscus. It reminds me of where my family is from, which is the Philippines. We call hibiscus gomamela, and these hibiscus really grow well in the Philippines. Tropical weather is ideal for it, but I think I could grow this in a planter and then overwinter it when it gets freezing cold, just because I am based in North Dallas. So a lot of these plant shopping videos are based in North Dallas. So if you are new to the channel, you will see a lot of these grocery stores, big box stores are out in North Dallas. Here is a variegated yellow lantana, sorry. And I would like to say that lantana are like weeds. They grow very well in our hot weather. They're very drought tolerant. So that's something you can plant actually down in the ground for North Texas. And then right over here, as you walk into the entrance, these are for $9.97, a bunch of assorted cacti and succulents. Look at this one right here. This is trending tropical 6-inch grower. Look at how fuzzy the cacti look like. And I like this one as well. Look at this other fuzzy one as well. Very precious looking, very delicate looking. I don't have cactus in my plant collection. I am trying to refrain from starting different types of plant species and genus just because I am one of the types that will say pick up an aglaonema and want every single species. Or for instance, if I get a kalanchoe, I would want to get all of the kalanchoe blooms, different types of blooms. This one is a beautiful pink one for a good price, and then you can see there are some more kalanchoe here. What I love about HEB is a lot of the plants are sourced within Texas. A lot of the products at HEB are all Texas grown, so that's really cool. I really do want to support local businesses in local areas, so support local. And even though I do plant shopping videos, I will show you guys local plant nurseries as well. Like for instance, I hope you guys will tune into my Austin plant nurseries, Austin, Texas plant nurseries series. I am currently in Austin, Texas for the weekend filming a lot of content, so please stay tuned for that. But as we're looking at this is a philodendron pink princess by Max and Miles. I think Max and Miles philodendron pink princess are the most healthy looking philodendron pink princess out there for $24.98. And then right over here we've got some begonia maculata at a grocery store. And this one is also by Max and Miles. Max and Miles is actually the official HEB plant supplier. Really love their plants. Not a fan of their actual planters. Like I wish they would have just had like a solid white glaze plant that, you know, planter that was maybe matte finish or even just a terracotta planter. I tend to go for a more minimalistic look, but the philodendron pink princess, I'm sorry, are $26.98, which is not bad. And I do like that the begonia maculata they have available are a little bit more compact versus the trending tropicals that I would see at like Walmart or Lowe's. And I'm going to pan over here and show you a bunch of assorted succulents. For HEB, they've got quite a bit of plants available, from succulents to aeroids to just common houseplants, uncommon houseplants. So I really like that a lot. And it's just interesting that they do have Costa Farm plants, but the majority of the plants are their own brand, which is, the premiums select by Max and Miles. They've got tons and tons of succulents. And, it is a Texas grocery store, so it's not a surprise that you will see a bunch of succulents. That's something that could grow very well in the hot Texas weather. Succulents require pretty much full sun. They do best in that. And as far as like care tips, you don't really want to have water standing on the foliage because it will rot the leaves. And you definitely want to make sure that they're on the drier side when it comes to watering. Like, they can go for days, months without watering. Just make sure that you monitor that. Overwatering is the number one way to kill a succulent. And this one is actually blooming. Those little rat tail looking things show the blooms. I always find that interesting. And whenever you see a plant blooming, that means it's got the best ideal conditions. It's mature, it's happy, it's healthy. And this is a beautiful Echeveria. I think that's how you pronounce it. I love the gradation of the lime green to dark green foliage. And it's amazing how plants just have such a diversity when it comes to like different colors, even different greens. Like, look at this one. This is a beautiful subtle pink one. Love that as well. I love the leaf shapes, and then just the shape of the actual succulent. It's almost perfect in the way it looks. It looks like a flower. And I am a big fan of succulents. I just don't have any in my collection, except for a variegated jade bonsai that I created from pre-bonsai material that I bought. I am going to show you a local plant nursery that I love to go to. Callaway's Nursery is off of Highway 121 on Custer Road. Callaway's is a local plant nursery that is all over the Dallas-Fort Worth area. One of the best plant nurseries to go to. And you can see spring has come. And this is a snow fountain weeping cherry tree. Love this. I would definitely add this to my collection. I wish that these weren't blooming, but this is something that I might save my money and possibly plant next year. I think it would do very well in my backyard space or even in my front yard. Unfortunately, some of my Japanese maples didn't really make it through this harsh winter. And the fact that I was growing Japanese maple in full sun, in the facing south, it just wasn't good. But these snow fountain weeping cherry trees are amazing, and look at how beautiful the blooms are. They give me Japan vibes, and I love Japanese culture, and that's the reason why I do a lot of like origami. Actually, to tell you a little bit about this channel, if you're new, is the channel's name Grow Folds comes from the origami origin. So I originally created this channel for origami ASMR, so you will see me do a lot of origami paper crane tutorials. I've literally got hundreds of them. So if you get a chance, I know you're here for the plant content, but definitely scroll down and check out my older content. It's all origami. Anyways, aside from that random rant, I did want to show you this Epipremnum pinnatum albo. Love plants that grow up a totem. Most philodendron aeroids would love to grow up a totem, and when you do that, you will see that they will size up in their leaves. You will see the beauty or the true potential of the plant, because this is really how they grow in the wild. They'll attach themselves on other trees and grow up, and that's when you'll see the fenestrations and whatnot. I am going to make this just a quick walkthrough tour for this local plant nursery, but you can see they've got a variety of plants such as calathea. Calathea again, I don't mind buying calathea at this location just because they have a variety of calathea and they have a really good return policy. So like if the calathea doesn't really do well, you have an option to be able to return the plant as long as you bring the plant that's not doing well for a full refund, no questions asked. So like Callaway's has a really good policy, and every time I do end up having to return a plant, I end up spending more money anyways, because I'll buy like 3 or 4 plants for every one plant that I return. So it's not a big deal. Love the staff. Every single Callaway nursery that I frequent, and there's tons of them within a 10 to 15 minute radius, I am able to just interact with the staff. They're super kind, and I am just very excited to see the variety of plants that they have available. Like For instance, this is for $16.99. This is a heart leaf fern. I want to add this fern. I don't have any fern in my collection. That might be my first one I might add. However, I might also add this. This is a black rabbit's foot fern. I see this often at big box stores, particularly Lowe's, and I'm not sure if it's a finicky fern. Somebody please give me the plant care tips if that's a fern that I can grow easily. I'm afraid that I may not have enough humidity, and that's the thing when it comes to plants, guys. As beautiful as they are, just make sure you do your research and know that you have the plant requirements. I do want to show you this. So this is a big leaf bronze leaf begonia. So this is another wax begonia. These begonia are meant to grow outside, or that's what I was told. However, you can also grow them inside. I am growing some wax begonia. I ended up buying like a 4-pack from Walmart, but this is another begonia I might end up buying just because I want to see if I can grow it. I'm more interested in getting those beautiful red blooms, and I want to pan over here. These are some beautiful impatiens as well. Impatiens can really tolerate hot weather, so I like that for Texas. And then look at this beautiful petunia right here. That speckling on the petunia is really nice. I remember as a child we actually grew petunia in flower beds. I actually grew a lot of flowers as a kid, and you know, I have a diverse love for different types of plants, like even the geraniums. Look at how beautiful the pink foliage is, not the foliage but the blooms are. And I want to pan over here. Look at this beautiful magnolia. So I wanted to do saucer magnolia. This one is an actual black tulip magnolia. But for some reason, like either the heat of the summers, they just don't do well. I ended up buying one, but it didn't do well. So it is no longer in my backyard. But I want to show you a bunch of these dormant peach trees. Now, peach trees are really grown, or at least I'm growing them, not necessarily for the fruit, but more so for the cherry blossom looking blooms. And you can see right over here, this one's already past its blooms. It's starting to get some green leaves, but spring is here, and I'm very excited to show you different types of plant nurseries and even botanical gardens. Like I plan to go to the Dallas-Fort Worth Botanical Garden to see if I can go into the Japanese garden and show you some of those beautiful Japanese maples and cherry blossoms. But I do want to show you this. This is a tree I might end up buying next year. This is a crimson cascading weeping peach tree. What I like about it is the blooms are a nice pink color versus white. Look at how beautiful the blooms are, and I love the fact that it's weeping, and its maximum size would be like 8 feet. So that's not a big tree, and it would be something that would fit very well in my front yard to possibly like replace my Japanese maples. And the good thing about peach trees are they require full sun, and since my house faces the south, this would do very well, and it would definitely give you some give my curb appeal some spring interest. I love being able to grow plants that just showcase the seasons. And look at this beautiful looking bloom. I would love to see this in full bloom in the next couple of days. I have a variegated peach tree that I will get some footage on, but I'm gonna go walk past this right over here. You can see a bunch of these hanging baskets of impatiens flowers. Gorgeous looking hanging baskets. It makes me want to grow a bunch of flowers. I did end up throwing down some zinnia seeds, and they've started to germinate and sprout. So very interested to show you that as well. I really should be doing some more outdoor gardening, but with YouTube, plant shopping videos, a demanding salary job that I have, it's just a lot, and I'm trying to balance it out and make sure that I actually have time for myself. But speaking of time for myself, I actually am excited to be out in Austin, Texas. The amount of plants and just the nurseries they have are amazing. It's a little bit different from Dallas, so I am so excited to show you that footage. But I'm also excited to show you coleus plants. So coleus plants in the Philippines are called Mayana plants. These grow so well, and my grandmother grows them like weeds. They are so easy for her to grow. My grandmother is actually the source of my plant interest. As a child, she showed me how to take care of plants, and she's really the one that has the best green thumb. I would love to feature her in a future video. So plant folies, let me know if you want to see my grandmother and see her plant collection, because it's amazing. And I am planning on trying to grow a couple of coleus plants indoors and actually train them to be tree-like or bonsai-like form. I saw an Instagram account that just grows coleus, and they're amazing. But I keep going back to this wax begonia right here. The leaves are large. I love the dark foliage, and I also love the fact that it's a profuse bloomer, so I like that a lot. You know, some people grow begonias obviously for just like the leaf textures, but this one I would grow just because of the blooms. You know, I'm getting into having blooming plants in my indoor space. My indoor azaleas are doing amazing. They're about to max out on their bloom, so I would definitely want to get that on camera and show you that. And I also want to show you this. These are oxalis or purple shamrock. Look at how beautiful they are. There's one that's purple. We've got a darker purple one with some more like variegation. And then we've got the green ones as well. These are all very happy just because they're blooming. I definitely want to return back to this Callaways soon, because the manager told me they will be receiving more trucks. They've been getting 2 trucks almost every other day. So I'm interested to see that and see what other plants they have. And then you can see right over here, we've got some wax begonia. This one is in a large 6-inch planter, very developed. I'm not 100% sure what the price is, but look at how gorgeous the blooms are. Love pink blossoms, love white blossoms. Love flowers in general. I feel like they give me, they just make me happy. I'm not sure if you guys are into flowers like I am. I just love plants in general. And look at this. These are the green wax begonias right here, and these have white blooms. I would love to grow those as well, just because the green is very much healthy, lush, and they just give you that energy when you look at plants. And that's the thing about my plant shopping videos. I know that I spend about an hour just kind of rambling about the same plants, but I just love the fact that Plant Foldies, my viewers, all of you guys here, you guys give me the time of the day just for me to talk about plants and show you plants. I feel like whenever I make these videos, it's more of just you and I hanging out. You're walking around side with me and we're looking at plants together. So I hope you guys continue to enjoy this kind of content. If you haven't already, please make sure you are hitting the like button. I can't stress to you enough how much it helps me. It actually motivates me to make more plant videos. So if you want me to continue making these videos, please make sure you guys are hitting the like button, so that way I can push out daily content. YouTube rewards engagement, and that is the easiest way to do so if you want to support me. Monstera Thai Constellation, this large one, is for $499. Truthfully, that is not a bad price for a fairly established Monstera Thai constellation. Now, mind you, I heard that there were some Monstera Thai constellations being sold at Lowe's in Humboldt, Texas. I saw a post about that. So you already know I frequent Lowe's pretty much every single day. So if I run into one, I don't mind spending $125 for those large Monstera, and you know I'm going to get that on film. Here is a beautiful Aglaonema. This is a pink one. I wish I knew the actual plant ID for that, but I am also getting into Aglaonemas being grown in hydroponic situations. So for those who don't know what hydroponic means, it's basically growing plants in straight water and no substrate. And you can see here, Tradescanthia Nanook for $9.99. Very lush and full Tradescanthia Nanook. Something that I would grow, and I actually ended up buying one of these from Callaways just because their Nanook or their Tradescanthia are very full. They're not leggy. It's one that's easy to propagate. I'm actually getting ready to propagate my original one that I bought from Plants and Planters. And you can see this is another heart leaf fern for $6.99. Actually, I would end up buying this size to start out with, or you know, the black rabbit's foot fern. Here is another Epipremnum panatum albo. Look at how beautiful it is growing up a totem. I believe this one is for $149.99. And then we're going to pass by some gorgeous looking maidenhair fern. Now, maidenhair fern I actually grew years back. Didn't do well for me just because I didn't give it enough high humidity. It ended up crisping up. And the thing about it is, with maidenhair fern, they're gorgeous looking now, but if you underwater them, they will definitely crisp up. And then right over here, we've got a beautiful Aglaonema White Rain. So that's not an Aglaonema Golden Madonna. White Rain is what it is. And then I'm going to swing by over here and show you these Monstera Thai constellations. So these ones are actually in 4-inch planters. This is the first time I've seen this at Callaway's. This one's for $59.99. So if you want a smaller Monstera Thai constellation for a decent price, you can go to Callaway's. And again, if you end up killing it, as long as you hold on to your receipt, you can bring back the dead plant and return it. So there is a lot of benefits of shopping locally, especially at Callaway's. This one is a nice looking Monstera Thai constellation. Look at how beautiful the variegation is. I am almost tempted to spend $89.99 to get a smaller juvenile form, because my Monstera Thai constellation growing in my living room is about 5 to 6 feet tall, and it's got heavy fenestrations. But I kind of want to get a Monstera Thai constellation that isn't as fenestrated, just because I love the heart-shaped leaves. Let me know if you guys are also into just like juvenile plants. Now this one is a very interesting Monstera Thai constellation. Do you see the stems here? Highly variegated. I would only buy this plant just because of the stem interest, not necessarily the leaves, but look at the stem interest. Highly variegated, the cream variegation. This is actually a really nice looking, unique looking Monstera Thai constellation. For $89.99, I don't want to spend that kind of money, because again, I end up spending so much money doing these big box plant shopping videos daily. And then this is my big box store plant shopping video at Home Depot in the Colony, Texas, which is out in Lewisville, Texas. I'm also out in North Dallas, but I haven't been to this Home Depot in forever. And honestly, when I went to this Home Depot, I wasn't really into looking for plants. So I'm curious to see what kind of plants they have. If you made it this far into the video and haven't already, please make sure you're hitting the like button. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to my channel. That is how you will get notified for my live premiere chats. And for subscribers, I am going to start putting exclusive content only for subscribers. So please make sure you are subscribed so you don't miss out on that. But we're going to walk in here, and as always, most Home Depots have like a whole section where they have plants at the entrance, and you can't go to a big box store like Home Depot and not see some Phalaenopsis orchids. These Home Depots have had a lot of like blooming, flowering plants at the front of their store. We've got some African violets right over here. These are almost finished blooming, but I do like the velvety leaves of African violets. I have one in my collection, and it's a variegated green on green African violet. I have pictures of it on my Instagram. So if you haven't already followed me on Instagram, please follow me at GrowFolds. That's where I will post stories of my personal life, my personal plants, my plant finds, and you can DM me directly. I respond to pretty much everybody that reaches out to me. And you can see that with some cyclamen. Beautiful looking anthuriums right over here. These are for $18.98. Or no, these ones are for $12.98. These are the smaller versions. This is the typical red one right here. What I like about anthuriums is not necessarily the blooms, but how waxy and shiny the leaves are. I think they're amazing. I would love to see an anthurium that has actually like elbow variegation, if those exist. And this one is actually one that I would find. This is to me, this is considered an anthurium plant find. Love the dark foliage blooms right over here. And I love that it's a large size already. This one is for $18.98. They do require bright indirect light with anthuriums, but this is one that I would buy, and then I would convert it to a hydroponic situation. The roots are very extensive in anthuriums, and I would love to actually buy one of these. I won't buy it today, just because again, I am trying very hard not to spend a lot of money on my plants, but more so not to inundate my household with hundreds of plants that I wouldn't have time to take care of. But this is one that I may come back for and put into a beautiful fishbowl watering, water hydroponic situation, because look at that. I love dark foliage plants. That's something that if I ever do my houseplant tour that I've been promising you guys for quite some time, I would definitely want to feature all of my dark plants. But this, look at that. Look at the leaf of that too. This brings me so much joy, guys. You don't even understand. I would love to see an anthurium in a bowl. I actually ended up converting one of my anthuriums I bought at Green Acres Nursery and Supply, which is a local plant nursery out in Irving, Texas. If you haven't already, please definitely watch that local plant nursery tour. I ended up buying an anthurium there and converted it into a hydroponics, and it's doing amazing for me. I love looking at the roots. I love looking at the blooms, and this one would be an amazing candidate to convert into hydroponics. So let me know what you guys think. I know when I did a poll, everybody was saying just to grow them in soil, but I really want to try a different medium of growing. I have some plants growing in leca, some Transcanthia propagations I did, and now I'm doing hydroponics because, like, look at this is actually what I find interesting too. So this is an Epipremnum snowy morning, or that's what Proven Winners is calling this pothos. I do find this variegation interesting. It's got more like yellowish aurea variegation. Normally I would say this is like a Marble Queen pothos, but Marble Queen pothos would have more of like a creamy variegation that looks like more of a hybrid of like an aurea. I was actually tempted to buy that just because I like the variegation. And you can see this is another Epipremnum jade. This is the Proven Winners H2O bowls. This is actually what got me interested in doing hydroponic plants. Like, this small bowl is for $14.99, but I figured if I buy starter plants and buy the bowl, like say from Hobby Lobby. Actually, Hobby Lobby is a craft store that I bought a bunch of bowls for there for 50% off. You would save more money making your own hydroponic plants. This is a Calathea fishbone right here. This one desperately needs water before it dies. But look at the leaves of this. I think Calathea would do amazing in hydroponics because then you don't have to worry about whether you need to water the Calathea or not because it's going to stay watered. And I just think it'd be interesting. So that would be something I would try to venture out and do eventually. We'll see about what kind of Calathea I might do. I might actually convert my Calathea White Star into a hydroponic situation, but we will see. This one is also for $14. This is one that I've eyed out for a while. I kind of regret not buying it when it was first released out in the market because I saw more healthy looking ones. And then over here, we've got a beautiful looking philodendron sun red. It's another Proven Winners release. This one's for $19.98. So it kind of is in the same price range as like a Trending Tropicals Costa Farm philodendron. Love that as well. I love how the new leaves unfurl like a bright orange red tone. And then obviously we are looking at some Monstera adansonii, a very common looking Monstera. I like that it's also the wide form. I'm not as big of a fan of the narrow form, but needless to say, you will find that at any big box store. You'll see a lot of Monstera adansonii. And then right over here, we've got a Calathea lewisei. Nice looking Calathea. This one's got a little bit of browning on the leaves. I am assuming this has been out at this Home Depot for a while, but for $19.98, it's got some beautiful green on green variegation for a Calathea. And then we've got a Ficus elastica burgundy by Proven Winners Leaf Joy. This one's for $19.98. It's a little bit more pricey. If you actually buy at Trader Joe's, which is a grocery store that I see often at in the North Dallas area, you can buy bigger Ficus elastica plants for $12.99. This one is a Calathea Feather Touch. This is actually one I haven't seen often, but you could see the leaves. Look at how gorgeous it is. They literally look like bird feathers, and I like how the leaves unfurl before it hardens. It's like a lime neon color. Unfortunately, this one is also starting to decline in its health. It's starting to crisp up and brown up, and that's what happens when you don't give Calathea like the best optimal conditions to grow. They require higher light, brighter light, higher humidity. They're just a little bit more of a diva plant. Now, Ficus elastica taniki is another beautiful rubber tree plant. This one does require a lot of bright indirect light, or it can actually take full sun for me. I grew one out in full sun outside in hot Texas weather, and it did not brown up or crisp up. And then right over here, we've got another anthurium. This one is that dark anthurium, and you can see how full and lush this one is. I'm going to take this down and show you. Look at that. Would you buy this anthurium just for the black blooms? Let me know in the comments, my plant foldies, or even in the live premiere chats if you're into this plant. I definitely am into this plant. I will buy this plant eventually, and I will put it in a hydroponic growing condition. I think a beautiful, very simple fish bowl would look really nice to display that. And then right over here, we've got some philodendron Florida greens. I have one that I need to repot. Beautiful looking philodendron Florida green. This grows very vigorously and they're very easy to propagate as well. This, however, will not reach its maximum potential unless you let it grow up a pole, a trellis, or something, because it needs to grow up something in order for the leaves to really size up and mature. Like right now, this is semi-juvenile leaves. This one is for $29.98. I have one, and I'm actually thinking of propagating a bunch of the nodes so I can make it a more full plant. But you see there is a second one right over here. These honestly are fairly healthy looking philodendron Florida greens. I just wish Home Depot would clearance out their plants or reduce their plants versus just letting them die, because I think that if they do that, they would actually sell through some of these plants. You know, when I think about plants at big box stores that just get unhealthy and die and end up in the trash, you think about the plastic containers, the trash that it creates, the amount of effort and time it took to grow the plants. It's just a whole sad situation. And I know that I'll ramble about it, but it's really something I feel passionate about. And then right over here, we got Epipremna Aria Marble Queen Pothos. So you can see that this one has some really light variegation. It almost reminds me of a Snow Queen Pothos. I will show you a Snow Queen Pothos, which is basically a highly variegated marble queen that doesn't have cream variegation. It's mostly white. I found one in a hanging basket at a local Austin nursery tour, so be sure to check that out when I release it. And then this is another alocasia right here. This is one that I intend to add to my collection. I would buy it from Home Depot just because it's a really nice price. Love the veining of the leaves. Love how this alocasia has more narrow leaves, and then the purple undersides are really nice as well. It's something that has a lot of different leaf interests. And that's the thing about alocasia, the diversity of alocasia plants, it's amazing. And then right over here, we've got a philodendron Birkin. I would say this is another philodendron that I would consider common. It used to be uncommon, maybe even considered rare 3 to 4 years ago. But now you can find them at a big box store, grocery store, convenience store, plant pop-ups. You can find it everywhere. And what's interesting about philodendron Birkin is the striping and the variegation varies. Like that one that I picked up originally was more variegated. This one is more green. So I'm actually curious to think if a philodendron Birkin variegation, the striping is really more influenced by the amount of light it gets, or if it's just the original genetics. But I'm going to put these side by side and show you that the first one right on the left has more white variegation. I've even seen philodendron Birkin actually have full 100% white leaves. I think when it comes to variegation, you want a balanced amount. I think this one, the left one, actually has a good amount. This one is a little bit more green, but I would assume the greener version would probably grow a little bit more vigorously than the highly variegated one. And then we have another philodendron Birkin here. This one's a little bit larger, less variegated. That one is for $19.98, and that is another Proven Winners release. And you can see we've got just more plants here. That's the thing about Home Depot. I'm curious to see if they're going to get even more tropical plants as it starts to warm up and spring comes around. Because these plants, I think, have been around for a while. Like this one is a elephant bush succulent. I've seen this hanging basket. And these are some string of teardrops for $12.98. These are by Smart Plants. So Smart Plants actually sources out a lot of the succulent type plants, cactus plants. Look at that right there. I don't have any string of anything. The only hanging basket of succulent I have is a wax ivy that is doing very well for me. And actually, I need to water it. I haven't watered it in over a month, but it is not dying at all. I actually sun stressed it to where it's got purple and pink variegation. And when you think about hanging baskets, these hanging baskets aren't the best looking, but you will always find a Vigoro fixture Vigoro Plants actually has a bunch of these hanging basket plants. You've got some Monstera adansonii, some Hoya carnosas, and then right over here, I actually ended up buying this plant just because it was super healthy at another Home Depot out in Prosper, Texas. This is a Ficus umbellata. So whenever I look at like Japanese plant collectors, they have some gorgeous looking Ficus umbellatas that they've trained as a tree, an indoor tree. They've like bent the trunk and it was really cool. That's something I want to eventually do with my Ficus umbellata, is wire it up so it could actually have curves and bends like a bonsai tree. And then we've got a bunch of different types of plants here. They're all jumbled up. You can see that that's another Ficus elastica, just a green version. We've got a Tradescanthia Feeling Flirty. I have a smaller one by Proven Winners. I thought it would be more of a vigorous grow, but it's taking some time for it to really grow. It's another plant that would be easy to propagate and water. And then we've got a bunch of Phalaenopsis orchids right over here. So lots of plants to look at, plants that I've seen already, plants that I don't mind watching and staring at, like this one right here. I'm really tempted to really just buy this plant now, but I decided that I would hold off on it. It is a plant, these blooming anthuriums would be something I would put in a hydroponic situation, but we will see what that looks like. And then we're gonna go walk outside and check out the outdoors section just to see if they have any plants here, any more tropical plants. Again, I haven't been at this Home Depot in a while, so I'm trying to give you guys different Home Depots and big box stores just to see what plants they have. And you can see this is a new shipment of anthuriums. It looks like they got some more of those anthuriums. Look at how healthy and lush these leaves look. Look at these leaves just unfurled. They haven't even fully hardened yet. I love that. Anthuriums for me have grown very easily, at least the blooming ones have. And we've got some more Phalaenopsis orchids here. I'm always surprised about how many Phalaenopsis orchids you can see. I just don't know how they just, mass produce those. And then we have some red tulips right over here. Spring is around. I would buy tulips though that weren't in bloom yet, so they last. And then you can see that this is the order of plants that they received. I'm pretty nosy. If you're gonna leave out paperwork like that for the public to see, I am gonna show that right there. But this one hasn't even been brought out in merchandise yet. And then we're gonna walk over here and you can see that their outdoor plants are starting to fill up. I'm seeing a lot of hanging baskets of ferns, so I don't know if those particular ferns are meant to grow outdoors. And then right over here, we've got another fixture with a ton of like tropical houseplants. So we've got some Syngoniums, we've got some Epipremnum aureum or pothos, hanging baskets, we've got some Hoya carnosa, but I haven't seen these full lush hanging baskets of Syngoniums. Look at how beautiful the pink leaves are. Very nice looking Syngoniums. Syngoniums are easy to care for, they're easy to propagate, they grow like weeds. If you grow them up a totem pole or moss pole, their leaves will get large and they'll actually change to more of a trilobe. If you grow them in a hanging basket like this and let them trail, they will trail, but their leaves will get substantially smaller. So it's interesting. If you let it grow down, it will get smaller. If you let them grow up, their leaves will get larger. And I've seen some very large looking leaves. Right now, these Syngonium are more of a semi-juvenile form. The mature forms, they get like trilobes. It's really cool. And then right over here, we've got just a nice green Hoya carnosa. Love me some Hoyas. I saw a bunch of these out in Austin. And then, when I think of Hoyas, that's one type of plant you don't see a lot of diversity at when it comes to big box stores. Like you might get lucky and see some, a couple more, but for the most part, you will just see Hoya carnosa. You'll see a Hoya carnosa Crimson Princess, Hoya carnosa Crimson Queen, but that's really all the Hoyas you will see. And then you can see that is another Marble Queen pothos. Decent variegation. With Marble Queen pothos, this is the one pothos that if you don't give it enough bright indirect light, it will revert back to green, and that would just end up being a Epipremnum aureum jade. This one is another, I would say this is more so a jade pothos at this point, even though it's probably being called a golden pothos. There's not a lot of variegation for it. And then we've got some more Vigoro plants right over here. So Vigoro sources out a lot to Home Depot. And these are the typical ones that you will see. You will see some ponytail palms. All of these plants that I'm about to pick up are going to be for $14.98. Not a bad looking ponytail palm. It looks super cute actually. I don't have interest in growing one, however, just because I feel like palms in general are not really my cup of tea. It's not something that I'm really interested in, but you know, it might be something you're interested in, and that's why I like showing you Plantful, these different types of plants. And then over here, we've got some Sansevieria. I want to get more familiar with different types of Sansevieria cultivar names. All I know is these are snake plants, and they're marketed as being easy to grow, but truthfully, I don't think they are. You know, they are meant, they can tolerate lower light conditions, but the watering is what kills me. And that's probably why I ended up killing some snake plants. They say you don't have to water it as much, but if you don't water it, it also gets like dry rot. So not sure about that. This is a Chinese evergreen or an aglaonema. And if you always watch my videos, and thanks to those who are regulars, especially in the live premiere chats, you know I'm going to show you an aglaonema Silver Bay. There's no way I'm going to do a plant video and not show you an aglaonema and an aglaonema Silver Bay. This aglaonema is one of my favorites because not only is it easy to grow, it can get very large. It can get up to 2 to 3 feet in height and width over time. It is a slower growing plant, however. And then right over here, we got an Epipremna Aureum Neon Pothos. This one's for $14.98 again. And I do love neon looking plants. Like the yellow leaves are amazing. Look at that. You can actually propagate it. It looks like it's overwatered. And the thing is, it's in a catch pot, so all of that water sits. So that's one thing I will tell you. Whenever I go to a big box store, if I have a water bottle, I will water the plant. If the water is over watered, I will dump the water out so that the roots won't rot. I don't know if that is actually saving the plant, but I care enough about the plants to try to do my best and do my part. And then right over here, we've got a Hoya carnosa, just a green one. I actually might end up getting just a Hoya carnosa green version. This is for $14.98 by Vigoro. Plants, definitely like that. I love the texture of Hoya, but what I'm more interested in is to be able to grow a Hoya and see if it could bloom for me. I've got 2 different types of Hoya. I have a Hoya carnosa tricolor and a Hoya carnosa crimson princess in hanging baskets right now. And then this is another aglaonema Silver Bay. This is by Nature's Way. So this one is in a ceramic planter. It's going to be a little bit more expensive. I believe it's like for $22. And you can see that there are some pups starting to grow. So that's the cool thing about aglaonema. It will actually get thicker and clump up as it matures because more shoots will come out from the mother plant. So I'm hoping that happens with some of my aglaonema. Some of my aglaonema have actually started to get a little bit leggy. I don't know if I just want to repot the plant so I can plant the stems a little bit deeper. That's another way to not make it look as leggy. But you can see here, this is another ZZ plant. Very easy plant to take care of for $8.98 by Nature's Way. These ceramic planters are readily available. Unfortunately, I'm not into these planters that they have. I don't like shiny glazed planters. I like matte finishes. I like stoneware planters. I like just very neutral colors for my plant aesthetic. And then we have some dehydrated Calathea dotties right over there. They just definitely need some water. And then we've got some really nice looking Syngonium. Unfortunately, I don't know the Syngonium plant ID for this. Maybe it's a Syngonium, some type of illusion. But what I like about it is the leaves are this like mint green color. And then the subtle pink veins on it, it's just really precious to me. I'm a fan of it. Not sure if you are fans of Syngoniums. Syngoniums fell second in my favorite types of plants to grow. Aglaonema are my favorite just because they have such diverse leaves and the color is just stunning. But Syngonium are a close second because I've always been into that. And an interesting fact about me is my first indoor houseplant was actually a Syngonium white butterfly. I think I was in 4th or 5th grade when I ended up getting that, or maybe even 3rd grade. I remember that. And we actually grew it in the bathroom and it still did okay. So like for low light conditions, it did tolerate it, but I know that in hindsight, it probably would have done better, obviously in bright indirect light. And then right over here, we've got another Calathea lancifolia, or what they call the rattlesnake Calathea. This one is for $8.98 by Nature's Way. This is another Calathea that can get very large. I want to steer away from putting more calatheas in my houseplant collection just because they are a little bit finicky. Like, they're gorgeous to look at when they first come from the store, but after 2 to 3 weeks, if you really don't stick around with the plant care, it starts to brown up, crisp up, and die. So like, that's just a diva plant. There's just some pros and cons when it comes to plants with beautiful foliage. Calatheas especially are just super needy. And this is another Sansevieria right over here for $8.98. Nice looking Sansevieria. Again, I'm not as into snake plants. I used to want to collect a bunch of them. There's a couple that I would add to my collection. One would be a Sansevieria La Rubia, very high yellow variegation. It's really cool. And I want to show you this dormant Japanese maple. This is an Acer palmatum coral bark, or what you would call a sangukaku maple. I love the red bark that it has when it's during the winter, and it has some beautiful lime green color for its leaves. And then this is a typical Japanese maple, blood good. So when you think of like Japanese maples and red coloration, this is usually the color, and you can see that it's starting to have some buds swell up. So this is the best time to grow Japanese maples, right before they actually open up and bud up. I have a couple of Japanese maples in my backyard that I would like to show you guys. So plant foldies, if you want to see my Japanese maples, please leave in the comments or in the live premiere chats. I can make a special video for you, as well as some of my cherry blossoms that I have growing in my backyard. That's something I could do before my indoor house plant tour. And we passed by a bunch of Dracaena marginata. Some of their tips are browning though, so that's not the best Dracaena marginata I've seen. And then we're seeing a bunch of snake plants. We've got some more dormant Japanese maple. This one is a blood good Japanese maple. This particular Japanese maple can actually grow very large. It can get up to 20 feet tall. It would take forever, several decades, since Japanese maples are slower growing. And then we obviously have a bunch of Majesty palms right over here. Majesty palms are common, and you can see these often at big box stores, grocery stores, convenience stores, plant pop-ups, garage sales. They're everywhere. I'm being facetious, but seriously, you will see Majesty's palms everywhere. And I'm just still curious to see if there's just a high demand for it, if they're easy to propagate, just because I don't see a lot of people really growing that in their house plant collection, but I could be wrong. And then right over here, we've got some Calathea macoyanas. These are actually nice looking Calathea macoyanas. They're actually a nice large size. These are by Nature's Way, and these are for $29.98, which is not bad at all. Just because the leaves are already large, they're developed. You know, Calatheas can be a little bit slower growing. And then right over here, we've got some Alocasia californias. I have a variegated version of this type of Alocasia that I need to repot. I will eventually show that as well, maybe on my Instagram, or create like another video. But as you guys can see, this Home Depot, it's a decent Home Depot. I wouldn't say they have the best plants. I wish they had more plants besides, you know, the common ones you would find, like ponytail palms, majesty palms, you know, your Calathea macoyanas. You can see that's a Spathiphyllum or peace lily right over here. But, you know, I'm not complaining, because sometimes just looking at common house plants is all you need to make your day better. And then just creating this content for you guys. I hope you guys never get tired of just tuning in to my plant shopping videos, because you can see that I do try to feature different types of plants. Like this one right here, I haven't seen yet, but this is for $15.98. I don't know the plant ID, but I found it quite interesting. And then obviously just the mixed Japanese maples. I do plan on showing you guys a special nursery that I visit out in Fort Worth called Metro Maples, which pretty much specializes in Japanese maples. So if you like outdoor gardening and you love Japanese maples, stay tuned to my channel. Like I said, again, I'm trying to diversify my plant content. I am now showing you guys some more of these assorted succulents, even though I don't know anything about succulents and the plant IDs. This one though, I do know. This is a hen and chicks assorted succulent for $6.98. You can see that the hen is that big one right here, and you can see that they've got a lot of little babies. And what is really cool is you can literally chop up all of those little babies, put them on top of soil, take a spray bottle and lightly mist it, and then it will just propagate and root itself, and you can literally produce that. I think that this succulent is a vigorous grower as well, and it can literally become ground cover. I think that's really cool because I mean, it does look like ground cover already, and I like the fact that it can easily propagate. So that's the thing about plants, my plant foldies, is I like plants that I can reproduce and propagate. I think propagation is so therapeutic. It's so satisfying. It's fun to share plants with other people. Like right here, you can get this little plant here, snip it off of the mother plant, and then just stick it in some soil, mist it, and it will propagate itself. And then you can see right over here, this is a fuzzy looking cactus, and don't let it fool you. It looks like it's like a cocoon almost, or like a silkworm cocoon, because look at how white and fuzzy that is. This is also by Smart Plants again. This is some type of euphorbia, or no, it's not euphorbia, but it's some type of cactus that I think is super cool as well. The fuzzy looking white cactus, I find adorable, super cute. I mean, all of these succulents are actually getting me tempted to like actually start buying succulents. I am really trying hard not to start that, because once I start that, I already know myself, I would be obsessing about it, wanting to get all sorts of species and varieties. And you can see right over here are a bunch of grafted cactus right here. I am not a fan of this though. I am not a fan of somebody painting a bunch of cactus. This is the cosmic succulents. Not a fan of that. I think it's kind of tacky. You know, I'm not really a fan of that at all. I am a fan of all of these assorted succulents. I think the different textures, shapes, colors, and varieties are cool. I will say that these succulents wouldn't do as well indoors unless you can provide like a bright light for it, just because they thrive more so in full sun. Look at this Kalanchoe teddy bear. It's got fuzzy, you know, this is a Kalanchoe. When you think of Kalanchoe, or at least for me, I think of the blooming floral Kalanchoe you see at grocery stores with all of the blooms, but this one is also a Kalanchoe. I didn't realize Kalanchoe were succulents, so I thought that was really cool. And look at this cool looking succulent right here. This one is another type of like living stone succulent. Look at that. And I've actually seen that one in bloom, which I think is super cool. So you can see that this Home Depot has some decent amount of succulents. We're gonna walk over here. I'm just gonna take a little gander and show you some of their flowering plants. I love flowering plants. I have some growing from seed. I have some zinnias. I might actually try to grow some marigolds from seed so I can make some marigold tea. It's really good for your eyesight because of all of the beta carotene you can get from the petals. But you can see right here, we've got some geraniums, very nice red geraniums. We've got some cyclamen right here. I love pink blooms on the cyclamen. I also like white blooms on the cyclamen. But what I also like about cyclamen is not necessarily the flowers. I've said this before in all of my other videos. It's literally the variegation in the shape of the leaf. The shape of the leaves of cyclamen are a perfect heart shape. And then we've got some hanging baskets here. We've got a bunch of like daffodils in the background, but you can see there's just a bunch of flowering plants. Even shopping at night, it's really relaxing just because there's not a lot of people I have to avoid from getting on the camera. And then right over here for $1.98, we've got a bunch of wax begonia. Nice looking wax begonia. Definitely a fan of this one, and something that I would be really into as well. Nice looking wax begonia. It's also a profuse bloomer, as what I've read. I've actually seen one at a botanical garden where it was like 3 to 4 feet tall. It is more of like a upright growing begonia, and it had so many blooms. So that's my goal, is to be able to grow this wax begonia outdoors to get it really large, and then eventually bring them indoors. But we'll see. I'm actually more attracted of the fact that it's just got dark foliage. I ended up getting a white blooming one just because I thought white blooms against the dark foliage would really be nice. But then I'm not against getting a pink one as well. That's the thing about me and plants. It's not like I could just stop at one type of begonia. I would need to get more begonias. I did want to show you this Glauca pendula, or this like weeping blue atlas cedar tree. I actually have a neighbor that has a mature one, and when I say that it grows large. It does grow large, but it's such a cool looking shape. I just wanted to pan over there. And then these are a bunch of like gardenias that are available to purchase. Gardenia smells so good. They need more acidic soil. I am curious to see if I can grow a gardenia indoors. I mean, I feel like if I can grow indoors, indoor azalea, maybe gardenia might do well for me indoors, but we will see. That's a nice looking bloom. It looks like a white rose. Again, gardenias like acidic soil, so definitely make sure that if you are going to grow a gardenia shrub, that you amend the soil and make sure you put things to make it more acidic, because it will do much better for you. You'll get more of a healthy plant. It will grow more vigorously. You'll get more blooms. It's just very good for the plant. And that's the thing about soil types. If you do your research, you want to make sure that the soil that you have is suitable for the plant. So some plants require fast draining. So a lot of the aeroids, the tropical aeroids, and just indoor house plants we look at, they want fast draining soil. But some plants that like to stay on the moister side might want more organic matter that keeps and retains moisture. So that's the thing about growing plants. More research, and then for us to grow together and learn together. That's why I always ask for like plant care tips. Right over here, we've got some cordyline Hawaii tea plants. These ones are ready to go, and look at that. Look at how large that is. Look at how beautiful that pink variegation is among the magenta purple tones. I really like that a lot. And, you know, I wish I could grow cordyline indoors, but when I have in the past, they always end up getting spider mites. They're very much spider mite prone. I did buy one from Walmart for $5.84, a smaller one that I plan on growing in a hydroponic situation. But needless to say, what a beautiful looking cordyline plant. I saw some from Walmart as well that had like the compact version. If I find one that's more healthy, I might buy it and see if I can grow it indoors. And then we've got some more Epiprimnum aureum jade pothos, $14.98. This is just a green form. Nothing wrong with the green form. Actually, it's probably going to grow much faster for you. And that's a plant that I would say, if you are new to houseplants, buy that pothos. That is the easiest plant to grow. And then right over here, we've got a Croton mame. These are large ones that they haven't put out there yet. I love crotons. You know, people say crotons, it's either you love them or you hate them. I love them, but I don't think they love me back, just because I overwatered one and it just dropped its leaves, and I don't really have the patience to like wait for it to grow back. So I ended up gifting it to somebody who wanted to rehab it. So it's with somebody else now. And then right over here, we've got another jade pothos by Vigoros. These are for $14.98. And then we've got some Alocasia polys right over here for $14.98. The thing about Alocasia is, if you're gonna buy one, you might want to buy one when they first get restocked, just because it doesn't give them enough time to decline in health. With big box stores, sometimes the plant care isn't the best, and some plants just decline, just like those. You know, I've noticed that with Alocasia specifically. And then right over here, we've got a Hydra helix, guys. You already know, you were going to hear me say Hydra helix or Hedera helix. I was saying that incorrectly for the longest time, but I like Hydra helix or Hedera helix. Those are English ivies. It's a very challenging plant. I've stated that in my previous videos, but if you can grow one indoors, kudos to you. And then we've got some blooming bulb plants right here. We've got some yellow tulips. Actual color for tulips that I love the most, it's yellow tulips. They remind me of spring. They remind me of Easter. They remind me of just freshness. I love yellow tulips, and it's really nice to see that. And I want to pan over here because it looks like some of the soil disappeared, but you can see that these are growing from bulbs. I've seen a lot of tulips being grown in a hydroponic situation where it's literally a bulb in a bowl of water, and you can see the roots and everything. I thought that was really cool. Saw those a lot at like grocery stores like Kroger and HEB, but you can see that these are the tulips that haven't started to bloom yet. So if I was going to buy one, I wouldn't buy the blooming ones yet. I would buy the ones that haven't bloomed so I can enjoy the blooms a little bit longer. And then speaking of blooms, we've got some peonies right over here for $12.98. They've got different types of peonies. So again, with peonies, I am not 100% sure what their plant care tips are, if they require full sun or more shade. What I do like about their leaves are, one, their leaves kind of look like weeds. Two, their leaves are a waxy shine. And three, it looks like their type of propagation would be more so from cuttings. Like I feel like you could cut a stem, stick it in water, and it will water propagate. But that's just me assuming. I'm not 100% sure. I do definitely need to do my research. But if you're a viewer watching this video, let me know what the plant care tips are for peonies. This is something that I might try to grow outdoors in my landscape. I just probably need to do more research. I always talk about research and just knowing your plant care. So before you buy a plant, my best advice is to always look at the care tips. Really acclimate yourself, familiarize yourself for the plant care tips. You will have a higher success rate in growing plants. You know, a lot of people will say, I don't have a green thumb. But what really is a green thumb? A green thumb is somebody who has the time invested for the plants, knows what the plant care tips are, knows the lighting condition, knows the watering condition, knows what type of fertilizer to use, and then most importantly, just having the time to upkeep it. Plants are not always going to look perfect. Like I am very guilty about like not getting rid of dead leaves or cutting away dead edges. And those are the little aesthetic things that you could do that could make you a green, you know, to give you a green thumb. Everybody's always learning. Even the professionals have struggles with their plants. I am going to pan over this last part of the video, and this is just all of the hanging baskets again. It's really nice to see a bunch of hanging baskets. I'm excited that I've been able to grow some hanging baskets in my home. Found a command strip that can grow, that can hold up to 33 pounds. I have yet to see any of my hanging baskets fall. And you know what? The good thing is I didn't have to drill holes into my ceiling. Even if I own my home, it's one of those things where I just don't want to, drill holes into walls and ceilings. So check that out on Amazon. They do sell those command strips. But as always, my plant foldies, thank you again for tuning in and watching my plant videos. Stay tuned for my Austin series of plant nurseries, and I will see you on the next one. Bye.